Hi, folks. Welcome back to Pop Pop Fizzle. I'm Jeff.
I'm Heidi.
And we are back with the haunting of Bly Manor.
Woo.
Not Hill House.
No.
Bly Manor.
No.
We
Yeah.
saw... What? Yes?
Yes.
Yes. No? Yes. We saw last time in the 5th episode, which was The Altar of the Dead, we saw Mrs. Gross's backstory, including a little revelation about why she keeps seeing that crack on the wall.
Yep.
Nobody else seems to see.
Yep.
Sad story, that.
Yeah. Poor Mrs. Gross.
Yeah, but very interesting, because if you go back to the notion of the mom, what's her name, Charlotte?
Charlotte.
Saying to her that she could stay there forever if she wanted to.
Yep.
I thought that was an odd phrase even before we found out what happened to Mrs. Gross. So, yeah, I'm very curious, like, who knows what and when did they know it?
Yeah, and just for like the purposes of being outright frank and blunt, Mrs. Gross is dead.
She's very dead.
Very, very dead. Which would
Wait,
explain.
do I need to call you Frank now?
Yes, please call me Frank. Castle even.
Okay.
My temper can match it sometimes.
This is true.
But so she's very, very dead.
She is.
And we found
for all we know, still bodily in the bottom of that well.
Yeah, she might very well be. Like, hopefully, it seems to be an abandoned well, so nobody's going to be going down there and looking for some water or whatever.
We also know at this point that some of the bad behavior that we've attributed to Kilometer is actually Peter Quint's doing.
Yeah.
So there's that. We also know that Flora certainly knows more than she lets on about all of this. I'm very curious, though, because we've seen these episodes, much as Hill House did, where it focused on a different sibling
Each time.
and then mom and dad, and we got all of the pieces to that puzzle. This feels like we're getting the same kind of thing. We're getting a focus on a different character and getting to know their backstory, what drove them to this moment in time. Although Miss Gross seems to be fairly, at least in incorporeal form, to be kind of unstuck in time a little bit. She was experiencing lots of things.
Lots of repeato days.
Right. And it seemed like from what Miss Jessel said to her, that Miss Jessel may be in that same kind of position where she's reliving things or inhabiting memories, maybe is a better way of saying it.
Which is just odd, and I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out across the rest of the episodes. We have 4 episodes left.
So I'm curious about what we'll find out about Owen. I'm curious what we'll find out about Jamie. I'm curious what we'll find out about
Flora.
About Flora, for sure. About the uncle as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, we've got 4 characters we still need to learn a lot about, and we've got 4 more episodes. So I'm not sure if it'll work out quite that way or not, but I'm definitely curious, and I'm definitely interested to see how this thing pans out. I'm going on record to say that Mike Flanagan with Hill House gave us one of the best television series ever, and I think this is right up there so far. I mean, we're halfway through. And I'm totally engaged, totally on board. Definitely want to watch it all again.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this has been a fun ride. And I hope it's been a fun ride for you, too.
I wonder, some of my background is in data, and I wonder if at Netflix they can see who rewatches things or who in what household watches things a second time or more. Interesting to know, because I think... once upon a time we heard that they had mentioned that there was somebody out there who watched a certain movie like every day for like 2 years. So I'm sure that data's there, and I think that's probably what drove this season that we have gotten with Bly Manor. So certainly and hopefully that would mean that we might get more from this group. So I'm excited about that too, because this is fantastic. Hill House was fantastic. I can't even begin to imagine what they would do with a 3rd season, but I'm really excited about it.
But just to be clear, your background is Data, but not his brother Lore, right?
No, absolutely not. No lore.
Okay, just making sure. All right, we're going to dive into this next episode, which is episode 6. It's called The Jolly Corner. We don't know what that means yet. We're about to jump in and find out. What you can do is, if you like content like this, be sure and hit the thumbs up. consider subscribing to the channel if you aren't already. And if you want to see the full uncut reaction to this particular episode, you can check that out on Patreon. That link is always down in the description. It should be popping up on your screen about now anyway. And then the only other thing aside from that you can do is make sure, because we love shows like this, we love getting to react to quality shows like this. So be sure and watch the original show on Netflix. This is not meant to be a substitute for that. And follow the creators and the actors and actresses on social media. Let them know how much you're enjoying the show. They love to hear that kind of thing, and it lets Netflix know that we want more of this kind of content. So that's it. We're going to dive in. Here we go.
Yep.
Have a good weekend.
How dare you speak about my weekend?
Mm-hmm. What?
She's early. She's quite early. It happens, doesn't it? I'd never have left at all if I thought she'd be this early. You made it. You're fine. Never. Missed the birth of my own daughter. But this early, you should take her to the hospital. The hospital's 2 hours away. The doctor was 40 minutes away.
So you just got up with the sun and you're tiptoeing around the kitchen making awful coffee by yourself just to come say hi at 6 in the morning for no particular reason.
Sure.
Yep.
Laura! I don't feel good. How long have you been out here?
Oh.
Hello? Who are you?
Oh.
Can
Oh.
you hear me?
Oh. Oh, that's a long trek.
There's someone in my room. A little boy. It's not Miles. It's not. It's...
Uh-huh.
Uncle Henry?
Hello, Flora.
He doesn't even have a mouth.
Well, I should think he would be a very good listener. And there's almost nothing more important than that in a friend.
And it won't cost anything to feed him.
Oh, this is true.
Listen, perhaps he'd love to hear some of your stories, Flora.
Or perhaps you could give him a name. You could give him a whole story of his own. You see, I had a friend when I was your age, too. In this house, in fact. He was a soldier. And I was very afraid of him until I gave him a story.
I feel like I should be littler.
Well, you should be 5 years old, in fact. You were 5 years old when this happened.
Oh.
Why is my age all wrong?
You know why, don't you?
Because this is a memory.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm sorry. I'm having a bit of a moment.
Aw.
Oh, it's all right. We
She's so
just wanna make
cute.
sure that you're okay.
Oh, she's likely asleep by now. You'd get the cook again. The calls are spooking them. You know it.
Huh.
Oh, okay.
Every time you send out a notice of death, the world where you can pretend your brother's still alive gets a little bit smaller, doesn't it?
I called Henry, but he didn't call back. There is only family.
Henry's not exactly himself anymore. He hasn't been for a long time. Ever since Charlotte and Dominic went on that blasted trip. Well, I suppose none of them came back.
Yeah.
I got things handled here. You go and enjoy yourselves.
But you're
We
dead.
have things handled here.
Yes.
Any nightmares, bogeymen, or monsters under the bed will be dealt with swiftly and fairly
Fairly?
in an impartial court.
Well, at least he might be alive.
Possibly. I'm not counting on anything at this point.
Same.
That's a lot of work for a flower that only blooms once.
It's what people feel like to me.
Oh, people aren't worth it. But plants, you pour your love and your effort and your nourishment into them, and you see where it goes.
I know you're carrying this guilt around, but I also know that you don't decide who lives and who doesn't. Humans are organic, but meant to die. It's natural. Beautiful.
Dear, what are we going to do about this?
Ah. Smile.
Is that all of it? One more piece in the car. Okay, I'll grab her. She was so early.
Uh-oh.
She was.
Well, for a baby that early, she wasn't nearly as small. She was actually right on time. That math wouldn't work. Or else it would mean she was conceived in August, while I was in Russia. It took me 6 years to do the math. Do you love him?
This is all terrible.
Where am I?
What's happening? Are you okay? Were you sleepwalking again?
I think I was tucked away again. Why does this keep happening?
Oh. We don't know. Oh.
I didn't mean to allow me.
This is Miss Jessel pretending to be her, I think.
You know?
Tucking her away.
She's my daughter. In every way that matters. When she skins her knee, calls out with a nightmare, it's me. You're banished, little brother. You don't have a brother anymore. Or a niece. Or a nephew. You have to live with yourself.
Huh.
He's a shit, grinning, fucking monster.
Yep.
Isn't he?
So he's banished, so he won't go back to the house. I wonder if that's a manifestation. Like he can't go back.
He said it, and therefore it is.
Right.
And that you have to live.
Like the mom, like Charlotte said, you could live here forever.
It's further than I'll miss you, but closer than goodbye.
You've eaten dinner without me.
Oh.
What? Flora, wait. You already ate in your room. Owen made you soup.
It was some of my best work.
I don't remember that.
Told her she wasn't herself. She seemed fine. But weird.
I don't like this game.
It's okay.
I don't like it.
Oh, that's probably your uncle. Everything's gonna be okay, Flora. Don't worry. Hello? Hello?
Oh.
Hello?
Banished.
It's another freaking prank call.
I wanted to say goodbye.
Charlotte.
I mean it. I needed you to hear it from me. I can fix it, but I couldn't leave without...
I love you, Charlotte.
I know. There's a lot more to it than love.
What are you doing?
That was a cool.
What? I'm going to Bly. That's insane. It's a 3-hour drive, and you've been drinking for 2 years, really. No reason. What's the point? The nanny has got this. You couldn't do anything anyway. I have a terrible feeling. Oh, that sells it. I haven't had a feeling like this since... So you'll go to Bly then. They'll be so happy to see you. And maybe you can tell those little kids to their faces exactly how their parents died. And you can tell them why they were taking that trip in the first place.
There you are. Don't be scared.
Oh.
So that's what we saw. It is the basement.
That was very rude of me. But I thought I'd give you a story.
Well.
There. No more. I don't like this game. Stop hiding from me. I'm very cross with you.
But why? Everything is just fine. It's perfectly...
It's not. I'm tired of being tucked away. I'm tired of forgetting things, and I'm tired of acting strange.
Flora?
Oh. She can see her?
Yep.
Flora? Come here.
It's okay. It's only with Cecil.
Yeah.
Miles? Miles?
Well, this is awkward.
Yep.
Miles?
Ugh.
Flora? Flora? Flora?
Sorry.
Nope.
Okay. Wow.
Wow.
That was it for another episode of The Haunting of Bly Manor. Episode 6, to be specific. The Jolly Corner.
Ugh. I don't like that title. So for this, I felt like it was longer than some of the other episodes, and I'm not wrong. It was it was an hour and 6 minutes. So we've had a couple that have been like, we had one that was like 46 minutes long, but it felt longer, but it wasn't because the pacing was off or anything like that.
They packed in a lot of information.
So much.
So it wasn't just a uncle-centered episode, even though that was where the main focus was. We also got so much with Flora. And we also learned a little bit of Jamie's backstory.
Yep.
So we really covered 3 characters pretty solidly.
Solid.
In this episode, which was only really about 10 minutes longer than some of the other episodes.
Yeah.
So, wow, that's a lot. And I'm impressed that they were able to weave those stories together so well.
Yeah.
And here we are still with 3 episodes to go. And I feel like they've given us so much.
Yeah.
And put so many things together. So now I'm really curious about Owen.
Yeah. Really, really curious about Owen. So I'll have to say kudos. I'm not really great at remembering actors' names, but to the actress playing Jamie, that soliloquy was amazing. I think she did such a great job with it. Just her whole backstory, and you could feel like all of the anguish, the angst, and everything that she went through with every word that she spoke. So I thought that was amazing.
Well,
so great job.
I had 2 thoughts during that scene. One, what a lot to do as an actor, to take what's basically a monologue for a long period of time and to take an emotional journey as your character through it, as you're telling that, but also to have to be the other actor who's sitting there responding without saying anything, just watching her taking it in, and seeing sort of what's going on in Danny's mind as she's listening through just her facial expressions and just her listening, the amount of compassion that was there for, on her side of that. So kudos to both actors there for that particular scene.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, seeing, the uncle and then the grinning, demon, how different those 2 portrayals are.
Yeah, just like the range right there. So that was pretty amazing. There are some times when you watch a show where somebody's kind of phoning it in, and I have yet to see anything of that sort here. Like, everyone is all in. They are it. And that's like we're like sucked into this world, like, that thing was sucked into the house.
Now we, and we've said this before, but these child actors are so good.
So good.
In Hill House, we sort of had the benefit of seeing both the younger version of the character and the older version of the character. And in this show, we're not getting that. We're literally just getting these children as characters of their own with no sort of reference for them otherwise. But we've also got them playing 2 children that on their own seem to be lovable and kind and funny and sweet in their own way. Yeah. But then we also get this side of them that is being used and taken over.
Possessed.
And creepy as all get out, but they're still able to give us these sweet moments. Like, you said, baby girl several times in the course. And it's
know.
like, because she's so sweet,
Yeah.
that even though there's creepy stuff happening with her, she's still just a little girl. And so, and even Miles, for all of his creepy moments, now that we know that that's Peter Quint, it's still just, he's still just a kid. And he's a kid that went home to help his sister because of whatever she was afraid of. Even knowing that it was going to put him in danger of being possessed again. Yeah. He went home. So, yeah, I mean, we left this episode in a really scary place. But how cool that these young actors are able to give us characters that we both care about and are slightly afraid of. Yeah. That's pretty amazing.
That is really amazing.
I am very curious now, because we've gotten so much of Jamie in this episode, very curious about what Owen's story is and if we'll get more. If we'll get something more about him. Yeah. So much in this episode. It's really hard to just pick apart. I mean, I think the whole backstory about Charlotte and that affair, and clearly Flora picked up on something because it was there in her memory. Yeah. I'm very curious about what happened to them in India.
Yeah, I'm definitely curious about what happened to them in India, but I'm also like, pretty much what his brother spoke was an oath, and it happened. So
yeah, like he was cursed or something. And then also, again, referencing back to Charlotte telling Miss Gross that she could live here forever, like they're speaking things into being. Yeah. And even the uncle said that he had an imaginary friend that he gave a story to. We know there's a soldier in this house. Yeah. So yeah, I'm very curious about all of that, and there's so much to answer in just 3 episodes.
Crazy.
Don't get me wrong, I trust them to do it.
Oh, for sure.
But man, what a ride this has been. Yeah. Super happy with what we've had so far.
Yeah. And of course, now I'm worried about Danny.
I'm worried about Danny, of course. Yeah. I'm worried about all of them, honestly.
Well, I mean, Mrs. Gross, she can just fade away. She's fine.
Yeah, but still, I mean, it's sad that she doesn't know, really. Like, she doesn't seem to get it. She's just there. Yeah. And she doesn't seem to remember why she doesn't remember things.
Yeah, and she's fading out more often, and it's becoming noticeable to everyone else. Yeah. Although the house is still clean, so hey, spot on, Mrs. Gross. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a big episode in the, held up to the rest of the season. It's a vital piece of the puzzle. It feels like they put several pieces on the board here. Yeah. And showed us where they are, and it all feels like it's lining up for a really big move. So, yeah, very happy with this episode. Yeah. I feel like I can't talk about it though. Like there's so many thoughts running through my mind right now.
But the things that I did say are what really stood out to me, and I really just can't wait to see more of it, and then I can't wait to watch it over again because I just want to be able to, like, I'm thoroughly engrossed in the story, but then I want to see what they, Easter eggs for us basically, but also kind of little things in the background that maybe we might notice that could have been clues to what we were watching, what foreshadowing of the events, or maybe by this point in time we already know how the parents died, we just don't know it yet. So
and before we started filming tonight, we talked about the fact that after we do the 9 episodes, we want to take a break, rewatch the whole show, and kind of take some notes and really dig in, because right now with filming, we've got lights on, we've got, we're looking at a small screen, so we want to watch it sort of in the comfort of our home on a big screen and just make some notes and put our thoughts together before we do. And we'll come back and do sort of a recap where we talk about the whole season or series, which feels more accurate given that this is a completely new story. Yeah. Anyway, that's it for us. One thing I did want to say, we said it before when we watched episode 3, it was called The Two Faces Part 1, and we didn't see that there was going to be another episode.
We didn't scroll up.
We didn't, well, because we were trying not to spoil ourselves.
Yes.
But the next episode that we're watching is called The Two Faces Part 2. So we'll be back with that episode next week. And we're excited to find out why Part 2 was so widely separated from Part 1.
For sure.
And if you like this kind of content, be sure and come back for that episode. Be sure and give us a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to the channel. And again, as we said at the top of the episode, if you want to see the full uninterrupted, not cut down for YouTube version, just go to Patreon. You can find that there.
All right.
Until next time, folks.
Bye.
Bye.